What's up, guys? We're back at it with another video. Today we have an interesting video for you guys. We have a couple of quarterbacks this offseason who are likely on the move, and we want to predict their destination through different categories. So let's begin with unhappy Deshaun Watson of the Houston Texans, who requested a trade to get out of the organization.
So yeah, obviously starting with Deshaun Watson, and the first thing, it's a trade. So fear of playing for the Texans, and that eliminates themselves and the Colts, the AFC South teams. So Deshaun Watson will not be going to these two locations, and that's kind of expected since it's a trade and it's in the Texans' hands. Next up, we have the top 12 draft pick, and the reason I chose top 12 is because I feel like anything above that will probably not get it done. So teams of the top 12 draft pick that do not include the Bears, the Raiders, the Rams, the Vikings, the Patriots, Saints, Steelers, and Washington football team. And then moving on, we have stated interest. So he actually has chosen two locations. Eliminated are Falcons, Panthers, Cowboys, Lions, Giants, Eagles, Niners, and Broncos. And that makes him come down to two locations, and it's the Dolphins and the Jets. And I predict a trade to the Jets because he seemed to want Saleh for the Texans job, and he stated them as his number one option. So Deshaun Watson to the Jets.
And adding on to that, it's just the Jets have the most draft capital, in our opinion, to kind of push for a Deshaun Watson trade. They have Sam Darnold and all of those picks from the Jamal Adams trade. So we think that the Jets are the top choice for Deshaun Watson and the top choice to land him.
All right, so our next quarterback we're going to be looking at is Matthew Stafford of the Detroit Lions, who requested a trade, I want to say about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And we're going to start off with a simple one, fear of playing. His contract's under with the Lions, so NFC North teams are gone, which is the Bears, the Vikings, and the Lions. Next up, we have the O-line. He wants a top 14 O-line. This is by sacks allowed in 2020, and that eliminates everyone except the Colts, Raiders, Rams, Saints, Steelers, and Broncos. So that eliminates the Falcons, Panthers, Cowboys, Texans, Dolphins, Patriots, Giants, Jets, Eagles, Niners, and football team. And then we now have his rushing. So when I say top 2 rushing teams, obviously that's by rushing yards in 2020. And that eliminates the Raiders, Rams, Steelers, and Broncos, and football team, which leaves us with Stafford's 2 final options, the Saints and the Colts. And I predict a trade to the Saints because you will see later the Colts will likely acquire a different quarterback, in my opinion.
Next up, we have Mitchell Trubisky of the Chicago Bears. And I think that all indication is that he's leaving the Bears and they're moving on from him. In the press conference, all of the owners and coaches, they are indicating that they're going to be very active this offseason in finding a quarterback, whether that is through the draft or through free agency. And I think that for Mitchell Trubisky to succeed, he needs a coach who believes in him, a coach who can help him utilize him to its strengths. And I think that was a flaw in Matt Nagy and the reason he didn't produce as well as he was projected to in the draft, because Matt Nagy was trying to force him into becoming a pocket passer when he's a mobile type quarterback. So I think that coach is the top thing that Mitchell Trubisky needs, and that eliminates the Panthers, the Lions, the Cowboys, the Bears, the Texans, the Raiders, the Dolphins, the Vikings, the Giants, the Jets, the Broncos, and the football team. Next up, he needs a running game. We've seen it with David Montgomery and how that opened things up. And I think that he needs a running back of the future. And I don't think that the Falcons have it, the Eagles don't have it, the Steelers don't have it, and the Niners don't have it.
And one thing I'll add is about the Eagles, this might be a little bit interesting. So as far as I'm concerned, the Colts have Jonathan Taylor, Rams have Cam Akers, Saints Alvin Kamara, and Patriots, I think Damian Harris is going to be a pretty good back in the future, but I don't think Miles Sanders is quite at their level yet.
Yeah, we'll have to see how he plays with Jalen Hurts for a full season before we can make any assumptions about him. But moving on, we have top defenses. He needs a defense to kind of keep him on the field. We saw it with Chicago. They had a very good defense, and that allowed him to kind of play to his strengths. Because, in my opinion, Mitchell Trubisky cannot play from behind, and if he does, it's most likely not bringing out a W for your team. And so his final options, I think, are either the Saints or the Rams. And we saw that the Saints we projected the Saints to land Matthew Stafford. So we expect him to sign with the Rams, especially after the GM of the Rams not advocating for Jared Goff as the starter. So I assume that they're either looking to move from him or they're looking for a new quarterback to replace him.
And maybe even just competition for Goff just to give him a little bit of a boost. And I think Trubisky provides competition no matter where he goes.
Yeah, so moving on, we have our last QB and one of the most interesting QBs who went from MVP to potential trading. And so we have Carson Wentz. And first up, as we said, is a fear of playing. The Eagles won't trade him to a team that they're going to be playing maybe like 2 to 3 times a year. And so that eliminates NFC East, so the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Eagles themselves. And then moving on, we have a top 14 O-line. I think that he needs an O-line because of his injury history. And I think that it's going to make a difference in how well he plays. So that eliminates the Falcons, the Panthers, the Lions, the Bears, the Texans, the Dolphins, the Vikings, the Patriots, the Jets, and the Niners. And so that leaves a couple more teams. And we think that all indication is that coaching connections are a very big part. He obviously didn't perform as well as he was thought to be this season with Doug Peterson. And honestly, after Frank Reich left. So we think that that leaves him with options of the Colts or staying with the Eagles, and that eliminates the Raiders, the Rams, the Steelers, the Broncos, and the Saints. And so that leaves, as I said, with the Eagles and the Colts. And I think that he's going to the Colts to reunite with Frank Reich and his Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator. And I think that that is the expected outcome for Carson Wentz. And that should wrap up our video. Please let us know if you have any thoughts on where these quarterbacks will land. Tell us if we're wrong. Tell us if you agree with us. And we'll see you next time.